Greetings, salutations, everybody. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is John Campea, and this is a companion video. Now, what are companion videos? I'm glad that you asked. You see, every day on the John Campea Show, in the second half of the show, we take live questions, but we don't always have time to get around to all the live questions that get sent in. But if you sent in those questions, I want to make sure they get answered properly in a video, so we gather them up and we address them here on companion videos. And today, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's been a long day for me. I've done about 5 hours of broadcasting and talking. My voice is a little ripped, so I got very lucky that also quarantined here in the house with me is one Ann Campea, who is here, and she's gonna help me about reading out the questions. So thank you so much, honey, for being here.
What do I get for this?
You get so many prizes.
Prizes?
So many prizes. An hitherto unspoken of number of prizes.
I can't wait.
Will be all yours. Prizes, prizes, prizes. Okay, listen, guys, we're not going to waste any time. Let's get right into it by getting to your live questions. So, Ann, what is our first live question?
Your first live question comes from Dan Ketchum, who says, for their own sake, AMC creditors might be lenient.
Yeah, for their own sake, you're right. It would be for their own sake because... But at the same time, they are in $5 billion of debt, so I don't know how lenient their creditors can be. What AMC really needs is a third party to come in and save them, whether it's the studios themselves, which would be in the studio's best interest, or whether it might be some other interested third party coming in, who knows, but somebody's got to do it. All right, what is our next question?
Lanzo writes, Captain Marvel versus Rogue will be a big moment in MCU.
I wouldn't hold my breath. I mean, well, yes, that is in the comics. Guess what? A lot of things that happen in the MCU do not happen, or that happen in the comics don't happen in the MCU. And, you know, Kevin Feige's made it pretty clear that Captain Marvel is going to be a major player there for a long time to come. And listen, I'll be tickled if they do it. I'll be tickled. I'll love it if they do it. I honestly have a feeling, though, they're not going to do it. I don't think you're going to see that classic Captain Marvel Rogue scene. I know it's in the comics, but 95% of the moviegoers have never even heard of that before. So I don't think it's that important to them. I would love it, but I don't think it's going to happen. All right, what is next?
All right, Brian Paz writes, your thoughts on China affecting movies like changing the ancient one from Tibetan to Celtic? Should studios comply with them to make profit? Is this unethical?
It's not unethical.
Excuse me.
It's not unethical. Hey, listen, American studios make changes to source material for other economic reasons that have nothing to do with China all the time. It's not a matter of ethics. Listen, a company, the way I see it, and I understand there'll be some people who feel differently, and that's cool. Hell, maybe I'll have a different opinion in 5 years. But really, a company that is designed to make money makes a decision on their product that they think will help sell more product. It's business. It happens every day, all the time. And if they can make an unimportant change regarding a made-up fairy tale, non-existent character from one ethnicity to another that 95% of moviegoers have never even heard of before, if they think that can get them a whole lot more customers in either America or Guam or China, then you do it. And listen, was it at the expense of the movie? Did Doctor Strange end up sucking because of it? No. So honestly, no, I don't think it's unethical at all. Now, if I had been in charge at Disney, would I have made that decision? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know that I would have made the same decision. But I do not think them making a decision that didn't affect the quality of their product, that got them more customers for their product, it's the same answer I would give to any industry. No, I don't think it's unethical. I think it's perfectly fine that they didn't, even though I might have made a different decision myself. I don't think it's a matter of ethics. All right, anyway, but a lot of people have different opinions on that, and that's totally cool. All right, what is next?
Dave XP, movie pet peeve, when a villain tries to kill the hero by leaving him alone in a room with a killing device that the hero clearly has the skills to disable.
So we've been talking the last few days in the show about like pet peeves, about how I've been saying how in action movies, bad guys often act like good guys and good guys act like bad guys. Because what happens? The bad guy is being chased by they're in a cat and mouse game and they're being chased by a bunch of henchmen. When the bad guy gets the drop on an evil henchman, what does he do? Snaps his neck, stabs him in the back, shoots him, whatever, right? When the bad guys get the drop on the good guys, what do? Freeze! Reach for the sky! To quote, Woody. They treat them more like good guys. So there are a lot of these things in these movies that are pet peeves, and it's the classic motif of the Bond villain explaining the whole evil plot. Same thing, yeah. Really, you're not just going to kill the hero who's a threat to your plan? No, I'll leave him in this room, and I'll just trust everything works out. Totally see where you're coming from on that, Dave. I totally see where you're coming from on that. All right, what's next?
Anthony Luculano says, next, I'm planning on watching Rampant, another South Korean film.
Ooh, I've heard that's good. I haven't watched it myself. It's like a zombie thing, much not in the same vein as Kingdom. That's another one I got to watch, but I've heard that about Rampant, and I heard it's actually pretty good, and apparently it's on Netflix. So watching the Train to Busan trailer for the sequel, Train to Busan Peninsula, has whet my appetite a little bit again for some more zombie action, so I might have to check that out as well, Anthony. All right, what's next?
Same Anthony still writes, the general plot is returning from imprisonment abroad, a prince and his fellow countrymen band together to battle bloodthirsty zombies in ancient Korea.
And yeah, that's exactly what I thought I heard it sounding like, about what it might be like. And again, sold. Sold. Fighting zombies. Sold. You got me. I'm totally in and on board. All right, what's next?
Anthony seems to think so too, because the next comment is swordsman versus zombies. I'm in film fan heaven.
You know what that reminds me of? Remember we went to go see this little movie that we thought was going to be terrible, Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies. Do you remember us going to see that?
No.
You don't remember that one? Because the cast was there and everything? Anyway, we were all not looking forward to it because Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter had come out, and it was awful. And I think it was the same people who made Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies. But believe me, Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies is actually a good bit of fun, and it's a lot of swordsmanship and zombies, so I'm totally down for that. All right, what is next?
50 Shades of Geek. I finally caved in and looked it up. The other actor that was in Star Trek, Star Wars, and Doctor Who is Deep Roy. Though it's a bit of a stretch in my opinion.
Okay, so somebody had written in the other day a trivia question saying, name the only two actors who have been in Star Wars, Star Trek, and Doctor Who. Now, I can think of about a dozen, if not a couple of more actors who have appeared in a Star Trek franchise and in Star Wars franchise one shape, but I'm not somebody who watches Doctor Who. And so I don't really know. I know your cousin is a major Doctor Who fan. Actually, your cousin, at their wedding, they had a Doctor theme. Doctor Who theme? Did they not?
Yeah, part of it was Doctor Who.
Like they had they had Daleks, and they had the police booth, and they had the TARDIS around. They had a lot of different stuff like that. But I don't watch Doctor Who myself, so I never knew the answer to that one. So there you go. Thank you for following up on that 50 Shades and getting the answer to that. All right, what is next?
Anthony Luculano writes, in case anyone is wondering, Rampant is on Netflix.
Yes, that's what I heard as well, and I think I will definitely have to check that one out. All right, what's next?
50 Shades of Geek. Shocking turn of events. What if Universal Studios saves AMC theaters? How does that affect the current relationship between Universal and NATO?
Okay, for those of you who don't remember this, so NATO is not the military alliance. It's the North American theater owners. And that's the organization of all the movie theater owners that AMC is a part of, Regal's a part of. They're all a part of it. So, of course, Universal spit in the face of the theater owners by pulling Trolls World Tour off the release schedule and putting it straight to VOD without any consultation with the movie theater owners. None. When all the other studios are in deep discussions and conversation with the theaters, because they are their partners. They understand you can't have one without the other. They're in a symbiotic relationship. They function. A lot of the movie theater owners found out about Universal pulling it by reading it in the news. That pissed them off so much to the point that the head of the theaters organization said literally these words: "We will not forget this." Those are the most aggressive fighting words I've ever heard spoken between the theaters and the studios. Now, I've said for some time that AMC may need saving by the studios, because the studios will crash if AMC goes out of business. Just going to tell you that right now. The biggest movie theater chain in the world disappears, it's going to kill the movie theater, the movies. It's going to kill the movies. So it is in the studio's best interest. Now, maybe somebody else will come along. If that happens, and if Universal is a part of that rescue package, yeah. You may have insulted my sister, but you pulled my mom from a burning car. So we'll call it bygone. So yes, if Universal is a part of a rescue package like that, I do think that will smooth over their relationship with NATO? It's a good question, but I think that's how it'll work out. All right, what's next?
Luke 1, 2, 3, 4. Over under 80%. Ezra is out as Flash for choking that girl.
I'll tell you what, when I first saw it, I was talking to Ann about this. I said, look, if this is real, this is what I said on the John Campea Show earlier. I said, if this is real, F this guy and the bus he came in on. F him. Like, screw him. But I watched it and I was like, this can't be real. Like, there's just too many problems with this video. I just have a hard time believing that it might be real. It might be. But I'm kind of leaning towards, I don't think this is what it appears to be. Well, since then, Variety has written and confirmed they spoke with the owner of the bar, which, by the way, on April 1st, when everybody else is practicing social distancing and doing their part to get by all this, why the hell is he in a bar? Anyway, and you can say, well, it was open in Iceland. Doesn't matter. You're part of the global community or you're not. But anyway, that's another issue for another time. And apparently it's real, and he actually did that. And I'll tell you what. I'll tell you right now, he can't be Flash anymore. He can't be. You just can't, in today's day and age, you can't, when your life is not in danger, as a guy, wrap your hand around a woman's throat and throw her to the ground and still expect to be a movie star. Maybe he can make a comeback in a few years, but he can't be Flash anymore. And I like Ezra Miller as Flash, but he's done. He's done. So tomorrow on the John Campea Show, the only question that we're going to have to address is not whether or not he'll be in or out as Flash. He'll be out. Make no mistake about it. He will be out. The only question remains is he recast or do they just pull the plug on the movie? And Rob and I are going to talk about that a little bit more tomorrow. So yeah. So I'm going to say over 80% that he is done as the Flash. Whether you agree with that or not is kind of irrelevant. He will be out. Whether you agree he should be or shouldn't be out, that's another discussion we can have another time. Whether he should be out or shouldn't be out, that's a good discussion to have at some point. I'm just simply sitting here telling you right now he will be out. I have very, very little doubt about that. So unless some more information comes to light, because let's admit it, we don't have all the information ourselves right now. But barring any other huge circumstantial stuff, I just think he's going to be out. And anyway, we'll talk about that more on the John Campea Show tomorrow. Thanks for writing that in. All right, what's next?
Ryan Lohner, it feels weird to call a Best Picture winner underrated, but it seems no one talks about 1955's Marty anymore. Such a simple but incredible moving story. And as a bonus, the story of how this movie got made is literally the plot of The Producers.
I have never heard that. Really? That's the plot of The Producers? I didn't know that. I honestly didn't know that. Now, Marty in 1955, it won for a couple things. It won Best Picture, it won Best Director, it won a few things like that. It's been I've seen it once, like 20 years ago. So I mean, it's been a while, but I had no idea that it was connected in any way, shape, or form with The Producers. That is fascinating to me because I like almost every iteration of The Producers they've done, all the way up to the Nathan Lane and Matthew Broderick one. I love The Producers. I never knew it was. I'm going to have to look into that now to see the connection there because, you guys are always sending this great trivia stuff. I never knew that, so thank you for sending that, Ryan. All right, what is next?
Anthony Lucolano says, just finished watching Rampant, and it was awesome. I absolutely ate it up and would definitely recommend it to my fellow filthies.
That's good to know. But one of the great things about everybody trying to make lemonade out of the lemons right now, right? We're in a terrible, sucky situation. So what do? We try to make the best of it and get some good things going. And a lot of people have been trying to get caught up on some good classic movies or some little unknown movies or little hidden gems that maybe we didn't have the time to before. And I love all these recommendations coming in. So thank you so much, Anthony, for sending that one in Rampant. Like I said, I'm kind of itching for a good zombie action film right now since the Peninsula trailer dropped. So that sounds good to me. All right, what's next?
Gene Check. Recommended reading for everyone. Saga.
Oh, well, you can speak to that. You're the one who brought Saga into this house.
Saga is so good. Although I think I dropped off after the 4th compendium, I think.
Did you?
Yeah, it's really good though.
Because you got really into all the Brian, or at least a few of the Brian K. Vaughan things. Like you got into Saga, you got into Runaways.
Well, yeah, Runaways is my favorite still.
Yeah, so there's that. So and then of course Brian K. Vaughan. He also did like Why the Last Man. Seriously,
Paper Girls.
Brian K. Vaughan, I honestly don't know why we don't talk more about him. He has probably written the most innovative, creative, flat out best material in graphic novel form maybe the last 15 plus years. I mean, he's done some really great stuff, and now he's making inroads into Hollywood, as a matter of fact. So anyway, that's a good recommendation, Gene. Okay, what is next?
Anonymous. You should check out on Chris Stuckman channel his recent hilariosity review on the worst horror movie in decades, Verotica. He sips shots of bourbon while talking about it. The film looks so bad.
Is that Verotica? Verotica? Whatever.
Verotica.
I have never heard of this, and from the sounds of it, it's a good thing I've never heard of it. Verotica, whatever it is, I've never heard of it. And thank you to your message sending in. Now I know it's a movie I need to avoid. So thanks for sending that in, man. All right, what's next?
Kara Black. After the video news just came out about Ezra Miller choking a fan, he's done as the Flash.
Yeah, you can have, and we can have, and at some point maybe we will. We can have the debate about whether he should or should not be out as the Flash. You can have that debate. I don't see any way around it how they can move forward with him in it. Again, unless some crazy new pieces of information come out, which it might. But in the absence of that, I don't see any way that 3 months from now we're still talking about Ezra Miller being the Flash. I just don't see it happening. All right, what's next?
Zaya. I just had a birthday yesterday, and while I couldn't go anywhere, I and my family played games, order out food, and watched movies.
That's well, first of all, Zaya, happy birthday to you. I hope you had a triumphant birthday and you have a triumphant year ahead of you. Actually, we just had the same experience. It was Anne's birthday last week, and we did much the same thing. We played a lot. We got on Zoom, played a lot of games with people, played, what's the name of the games we've been playing?
Jackbox.
Jackbox. Makers of You Don't Know Jack, which is a video game me and my friends used to play. It's like a movie trivia, not a movie trivia. It's a trivia show game that we used to play back in the early 2000s, and it was awesome. And I guess they kept making games, and now they make these great games you can play online. Where can people, if people want to play some games online with their friends, because this was great for us.
Yeah.
Where can they go and do that?
Well, I think you can purchase the games from Jackbox. You could also just purchase them from Steam, but I believe you're using the Steam platform to actually run the game, and then you would just share it over Skype or Zoom or Teams.
Right. So a host
Yep.
would have the game and run the game, but then once they set up the game, they send you a code, and all you got to use is your web browser, go to Jackbox TV, and then you enter in the code, and it brings you into the game that they set up. And it's really fun, and we've been playing it with our friends remotely because we're all doing the social distancing thing, and it was a lot of fun. So once again, Zaya, happy birthday to you, my friend. I hope you had a great one and have a great year ahead of you. All right, what's next?
50 Shades of Geek. I took advantage of the lockdown to finally watch a movie I've wanted to watch for a long time but never got around to. Galaxy Quest. It's now my new favorite Star Trek movie, and I love all of them, even the bad ones.
It's funny that a lot of people do refer because I mean I can understand why people refer to it as a Star Trek film. I love Galaxy Quest. As a matter of fact, for the longest time, when we would go to bed, what I would normally do is I would normally pop on a movie to fall asleep to. And there were 3 movies that I would do that with. One was Zoolander. I can't remember the third one, but one was Zoolander and the other is Galaxy Quest. So Anne probably doesn't know it, but she probably has all of Galaxy Quest memorized because she heard it about 100 different times in her sleep playing it. But I love that movie. As a matter of fact, the folks over at Screen Junkies, like Dan and Roth, they produced a Galaxy Quest documentary, which I recommend everybody go and check out. I love that movie. It is one of my favorites. Of course, the great Alan Rickman is in there. By Grabthar's hammer I shall avenge thee. I mean, it's just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful film. Go check it out if you have not done so already. Okay, what's next?
Anthony Lucalano. The next film I'm watching is called Revenger. It's another South Korean film on Netflix.
That one I have not heard of. Like the other one, yeah, I've heard a few people talking about it. Gotta say, you guys, this one I've not heard of. But hey, again, Netflix, the worst company in the world for marketing what's on their network. I seriously, every day I get told by people, hey, you should see this. It's on Netflix. And I've never heard of it. Because Netflix is like a Netflix original, or they purchased it from another market, and they've never let anybody know that it was there. So I'm not surprised, but the upside is that you get surprised by these neat little gems that you didn't know about before. So I hope you like that one, Anthony. Okay, what's next?
Well, Anthony follows up and says the basic plot is a former detective infiltrates a remote island that serves as a prison for death row criminals, hell-bent on avenging his murdered family.
Ooh, so wait, so they already caught the murderer, and now he just wants to go in and kill the murderer who's already in jail? Okay, sure. I guess that makes the name Revenger okay, not to be confused with what Thor wanted to call his team in Thor Ragnarok. Okay, what is next?
Garrett Couch. If this no toilet paper thing is a sign of what would happen in the apocalypse, now we know why everyone in Mad Max wore rearless chaps.
Wore assless chaps. It's, the joke I keep hearing people make was, of course, oh, now in Demolition Man, now we know what the 3 seashells is. That was always the biggest joke about the yes, but Mad Max, assless chaps, that would explain it. All right, what's next?
Pretty good. A couple of my favorite films and TV shows that I don't think I've heard you talk about. Films, Nebraska and Dead Man's Shoes, UK. TV shows, Gomorrah, Italian, and Flight of the Conchords. Interested to hear if you or Rob have watched any of these.
I am not familiar with Nebraska. I'm not familiar with that film, so I'm not quite sure which one that is. Dead Man's Shoes, that's the one with Patty Constantine and Toby Kebbell. It's about the soldier comes home. There are people who are very mean to his brother. So he's going to make things right. Anyway, I like that movie. I don't love it. I think I've seen it once, if I'm even thinking of the right movie. Flight of the Conchords is classic. Everybody knows Flight of the Conchords. Mackenzie, Clement. Yeah, love Flight of the... Actually, they just tried to do a little... Didn't they do like a reunion concert in 2018 or something? I can't remember exactly. And Bobbin, the guy who directed the Muppet movies, he was one of the creators of that show as well. So yes, I've always liked that show, as a matter of fact. Not one of my favorites per se, but I've always liked that show. That one's pretty good. All right, what is next?
Garrett Couch, Stuck at Home TV suggestion. Falling Skies, a real hidden sci-fi gem with Noah Wyle and Will Patton.
It's an alien invasion show. I think it was even executive produced by Steven Spielberg, but as is the case with a lot of stuff that Steven Spielberg executive produces, I'm not sure if he really did anything on the show, to be honest with you. I kind of tapped out on it. I gotta say, I have a few friends of mine that are big sci-fi fans, and I'm a big sci-fi fan, but a few of my big sci-fi fan friends who really do like that show a lot. I gave it a go. It didn't quite work for me nearly as well. But I know a lot of people that do. So I think if you're somebody who likes good sci-fi, you're looking for a show to catch up on, it's not my favorite, but a lot of people really do like it. Take Garrett's advice and go see if you can find Hidden Skies. And I do like Noah Wyle a lot, as a matter of fact, so you might want to check that out. Okay, what is next?
Anonymous. John, I am still waiting for Peter Jackson's contact info. After all these years, worst kind of service ever. Tongue-in-cheeky, love ya movie fans, bring on the filthy.
Okay, so I'm sure everybody's heard the story. In case, for those of you who don't know, the craziest story, one of the craziest stories ever for me, is it was back in my movie blog days, and I get lots of fan mail, and one of the emails I got back in the movie blog days was, hey John, I can't remember if Peter Jackson was doing The Hobbit at the time, or I think he was doing getting ready to do The Hobbit movies. And they wrote, say, John, I love Lord of the Rings, the books, the movies, the whole bit. It's my lifelong dream. I just want to be an extra as an elf or something like that in the new movies. Can you please give me Peter Jackson's contact information so I can write to him and see if I can get into this thing? And listen, I even then I would get hundreds of messages a day. I don't have time to respond to hardly any of them. So that's just kind of one I brushed aside. First of all, I thought it was hilarious that he just assumed that I had Peter Jackson's contact info. And even if I did, I think it's hilarious he thought I would just give that contact information out. Anyway, whatever. 2 days pass. Maybe 3. Let's, for the sake of argument, say it was 3 days pass. I get another email from the same dude. This time, all caps, all exclamation points, saying, I wrote to you 3 days ago asking for Peter Jackson's information, and I'm still sitting here and I don't have it. What the hell kind of customer service is this? I kid you not, word for word, that's what they wrote. I have never forgot that, and I thought if anything kind of demonstrates and I include myself in this, our entitled feelings that we as internet fans have, and I mean all of us, including me. If anything kind of represented the entitlement we as internet fans often feel, it is that particular email. So I'm glad you remember that one, Anonymous. All right, what is next?
Hoser Mais Sorry, I butchered your name. Boneyard Match versus Firefly Funhouse Match. John, did you like it? Which one was the best? And you like WrestleMania?
I hated the Firefly House thing. I hated it. Ann and I had it on TV. I'm like, what the hell is this? I thought it was the dumbest shit I've seen wrestling do in decades. I honestly thought it was the dumbest thing I've seen. And I was shocked to go online the next day, expecting to see all these people talk about what the flying F were they doing with that Bray Wyatt, John Cena thing. But people loved it. They loved it. Corey was over here earlier. Did she not say she really liked it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Corey really liked it. I'm like, really? And
I think you have to see it twice.
I mean, because you were in the middle of the road. You weren't quite sure what to make.
Yeah, I was a little confused, but I think when you watch it again, I can see why people would enjoy it. There's something there. They tried to go really far stretched with what was going on. The thing that I like about that match, well, not really a match, it was more like a cinematic.
Sketch. It was more like a sketch, yeah.
They throw it back to 6 years ago when that feud started.
Right, yeah.
And what I was saying to Kaori was there is something, I don't think WWE planned it this way, not like Marvel has planned their entire 10-year cinematic storyline. But it would be really cool to think 6 years ago, John Cena and Bray Wyatt had a feud, and WWE all along was building and building this story for it to culminate into last night's match, and kind of going through the history of having Cena go back to some of his personas, having Bray go back to some of his personas, which was all throwbacks, which was kind of cool, and how Bray as the Fiend would set up this like demonic twisted way to get at John Cena's head. So
you are giving them way more credit than I would.
I had to watch it twice though, because the first time I was like, what
you
the
did go back and
hell
watch
is
it a second
this?
time.
Yes, of course.
Is that what you did after I went to bed? Did you rewind it and put it back on again?
I had to see it again. I was very curious.
And I don't know, maybe, but everybody else loved it. I thought it was just idiotic, but everybody else loved it, so maybe I have to give it another chance. All right, what is next?
Nosferatu. Identity theft is not a joke, Jim. Millions of families suffer every year.
Oh, that's from The Office. Jim pretending to be Dwight is one of the funniest things. And when it ends with Michael, I crack up every time. So much classic stuff in that one. All right, what is next?
DJ Titus. 2 recommendations today. Hawk the Slayer, The Edge.
I am not familiar with Hawk the Slayer. The Edge is amazing. And you know what? I've got to make that one of my recommended movies. I think this week I will make The Edge one of my recommended movies. For those of you who don't know much about it, it's an incredible movie. Alec Baldwin and Anthony Hopkins. And they go down, their plane goes down in the forest, and they're being tracked by a bear. It's just 2 men and a bear. That's the movie. 2 men and a bear. And there's another human drama going on amidst it as well. It is fantastic. It is a fantastic film. And thank you for putting that back on my radar, because I will make that one of my recommended films this week. Unfortunately, Hawk the Slayer, I can't remember which one that is. If I've seen it, I don't recall right now, but The Edge is definitely awesome. All right, what's next?
Luso Animation. You like Anastasia? ? Can she become Disney princess?
The only reason I could see them not making her a Disney princess is because she was not created as a Disney princess. But then again, neither was Leia, and Disney did that big ceremony, right, where they officially like christened Leia as a Disney princess, did they not? I thought I remember them doing that.
Yeah, they basically said she's a part of the
she's a Disney princess now. Anastasia was a Fox property, brought now and owned now by Disney. So, and she's a princess. So I don't see why not. The only thing I could see stopping them from doing it is that, well, it wasn't really created with Disney in mind, or I don't know. It's a bad idea, but I think they should. I think they should officially make Anastasia a Disney princess. That's just me. All right, what's next?
Jason Whitcomb. John, television was supposed to kill movies back in the early 50s. Movie Movies and movie theaters will never, ever die. Things will change, and companies will have to be innovative and grow. The report of the death of cinemas are greatly exaggerated.
Well, it's not just that television. It's like, look, when the VHS player, when the VCR came out, oh hell, when audio cassettes came out, they said that was going to kill the music industry. When audio cassettes came out, they said it would kill the music industry. When VCRs came out, they said it would kill television and kill the movie industry. And it never does. It never does. Now, this situation with AMC is a horse of a different color, to use a Wizard of Oz phrase. This is a different situation. This is a company that is $5 billion in debt and is in real trouble and very well could go under. And if that happens, if the biggest chain in the industry goes under, it's going to have really bad ramifications. That's why I don't think it will go under. I think somebody will come along and save it and all that kind of stuff. But you're right. Everybody keeps saying, oh, cassette player, this is going to kill the music industry. VCR's going to kill the movie industry. Oh, streaming, that's going to kill the movie industry. Oh, no, they keep saying it, but it's still here. And I think it'll be here for a while. But believe me, this situation with AMC is really serious. And there are too many people who just think they're too big. And they're not going to. This is really serious. There is a very real possibility. I think it'll work out, but there is a very legitimate, real possibility that AMC may never open its doors again, which bums me out because we got the AMC Burbank 16 up the street, and I freaking love that theater. But we'll have to see how this all turns out. All right, what is next?
Manny G. Andy Serkis changed the game as far as performance capture. Now that he's directing Venom 2, how do you think his performance knowledge will translate to the actors? That's what has me intrigued the most for Venom 2.
Andy Serkis, listen, if there's a Hollywood Hall of Fame, which I think they might be developing right now, actually as a part of the Oscar headquarters. At any rate, if there's a Hollywood Hall of Fame, Andy Serkis needs to go in because he revolutionized our perception of the motion capture performance. Whether it was Caesar in the Planet of the Apes movies, or whether, and most importantly, as Gollum. It changed everything. And he's the guy. And listen, Tom Hardy is already a brilliant actor. Woody Harrelson is an Academy-level actor. These guys don't need acting tips from Andy Serkis. But as the director of the film, and as somebody who's done a lot of motion capture, I'm sure they will lean on him. I'm sure they will pay, like they always listen to their directors, but I'm sure because, they're not Bruce Willis. I'm sure they listen to their directors, but I think they will give him an extra ear when it comes to the motion capture stuff. And I agree. And listen, don't be shocked at all to find out that Andy Serkis puts on the blue bulbs himself and does a little bit of the motion capture himself as well at some point in the movie. And I think that this is only going to help their performances a lot. And I'm sure that's one of the reasons they're grateful to have him there. And I'm very excited for Venom 2. I am more excited for Venom 2 than I really should be, but I like the first one a lot. So here's hoping. All right, what's next?
Jesse, Loveness working on Rick and Morty had me intrigued, but the Miracle Workers credit has me exited. That shows humor and
probably
heart.
Meant excited.
Oh.
That's probably meant excited.
That shows humor and heart is intoxicating.
Yeah, that was really interesting news today that Loveness has been brought on to write. I mean, for Ant-Man 3, first of all, the whole idea that there's going to be an Ant-Man 3, and by the way, it's not been officially announced, but they're clearly looking at doing it. They're bringing him in. That's a good sign. They're bringing back the same director from Ant-Man 1 and Ant-Man 2. He's coming back in. This time a new writer, Rick and Morty, but also the Daniel Radcliffe show, Miracle Workers, which I keep hearing is really good, but I haven't seen myself. It sounds like it's a good fit. When you understand the character of Ant-Man and the comedic nature of that movie franchise, it seems like it's a good fit. Like if they announced him as the next director of, I don't know, maybe Captain America, maybe not, but for Ant-Man, it may fit very, very well. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I think it's pretty good news. We'll see if it works out the way I hope it will. All right, what is next?
Drummer0626. Hey, John, I've been watching since a few months before Movie Talk became AMC.
Actually, AMC came first, and then it became Movie Talk, but that's okay.
What was it before that?
It was For Your Consideration.
FYC, but what was it before FYC?
Before For Your Consideration, it was nothing before that.
Oh.
So like I did I did a movie blog. I did all the movie blog stuff.
Yeah.
And then me, Soul, Roth Cornett, and Dennis, we created, just on our own, we created our own little weekly show called For Your Consideration. And we just did that on our own. And then later, when I was at AMC and we decided to start up a show, I said, I like the name For Your Consideration. And we've already done the show, so it's ours. It's our name. Let's start this by calling it For Your Consideration. What happened then was a couple of the people at AMC said to me, and they were right. They were right. They said to me, here's the thing, John. We know you like that name, but consider this. It really does make it sound more like an award show. And they were right. I like the name, but they were right. It did sound more like it. So we decided to come up with another name, and I came up with Movie Talk. So with the first 3 or 4 episodes, I think, of our show at AMC was For Your Consideration. And then we renamed it to Movie Talk, and the rest was history. And then they killed Movie Talk. But I'm not going to sound bitter about that, and I'm not going to go into that right now. It is what it is, but yes. Good. Anyway, sorry, we interrupted the question.
No, now I'm down this rabbit hole.
Yeah, we're going totally down this rabbit hole. Okay, sorry. What's the rest of the question?
Well, because then my question would have been, what was that show called that I called into when we first talked?
Oh, the one that was when I was still doing the movie blog. But I was doing a show called, it was originally called the Movie Blog Audio Edition. And then we changed the name to Movie Blog. Oh, I'm freezing on the name on it. It might have been Uncut. Yes, it was.
Yeah,
It was
that does sound familiar, actually.
The first time you and I, we spoke at the party briefly. Prior to that, we met briefly at the party the night before, but then you called into the show. I still remember because Mark Neville-Dean, Brian Taylor, and This Is Us star and Heroes star Milo Ventimiglia were in studio with me, and we were taking live calls. And I still remember that you mentioned you were calling from Corona, California, and Neville-Dean. He's one of the Neville-Dean Taylor, the directors of the Crank movies with Jason Statham. Neville-Dean, and of course, Brian, they just instantly went on the Corona joke, joking about the beer. And I still remember that. I remember that to this day. And I'd like to tell all of you folks at home that the reason Anne called in was because she had a crush on me, which that is also true. But, I mean, yeah, she had it she was... Big Milo Ventimiglia fan. But you did get my contact information, and we did touch base after that, and then we went on our first date, and we've been together ever since.
But Milo, I am still available.
Just to be clear, to Milo, Justin Timberlake, everywhere else, be well aware, apparently, Ann Campea, apparently, is still available for the right person. It's always healthy, guys, to know where you stand. Always good to know where you stand. So, jerk, what's the next question? Oh, so we still haven't even finished this question yet. We're still stuck on this one.
I hijacked.
Yeah.
I hijacked.
You hijacked the total
drummer
show.
0626. I'm never coming on this show again. Okay. Hey, John, I've been watching since a few months before Movie Talk became AMC. Do you think WB should wait to launch HBO Max? Excited for it, considering millions of people may not want to drop $15 on another streaming service.
I think for the very reasons you just said, drummer, is why they need to come out with it now. Because guess what? There's only more streaming services coming. There's just more coming. We're at the beginning of the streaming war age. And we will go through a number of years of this, and then at some point, it'll start to, it'll pare down, it'll become a little more common, but it's going to be the Wild West for a while. It makes it more incumbent, I believe, on a company like HBO Max to be one of the first ones out. Now, they can't be the first one out. I mean, Hulu's been there already. Netflix has been there already. Disney Plus has beat them to the punch. And we got Universal Peacock, NBC Peacock, which is the dumbest name in the world for a streaming service. But we got that one coming, and there are more. They need to get out actually as early as possible and be amongst the first to be in there because there's just more coming. So if one of the reasons they may not want to do it now is because are people going to want to dish out another $15? That's only going to become an even bigger problem 2 or 3 years from now. So yeah, I think they need to come out with this as soon as they can, Drummer. I think that it behooves them to do that for the exact reason you're bringing up. The longer they wait, the more crowded the streaming space is going to become. And then when they come out and launch, say, oh, we're $15, it's going to even become a more desperate question of, now do people even want to spend another $15? Maybe they would have a little bit earlier. Maybe back in 2020 they would have done that. So yeah, I think it behooves them to do that, as a matter of fact. It's a good question, but I absolutely think it behooves them to do that. Another important thing that I think they always need to keep in mind is never get on national television or internet broadcasts and tell people you have your crush on somebody who is not your spouse. Speaking of which, Anne, what's our next question?
The next question comes from Milo Ventimiglia, who asks, Ann Campea, will you marry me?
It comes full circle. It comes full circle. All right.
What are we doing now? Oh, okay. Jake the Snake Roberts, who is still alive, by the way.
I was so... Okay, I got to tell this story. You brought it up. Now I got to tell this story. So, Ann and I are watching Peanut Butter Falcon.
The best movie.
Which is a great movie that Ann quotes every day. You're not invited... Well, because it was your birthday. You're not invited to my birthday party. Love the movie. But there comes this moment in the movie, of course, where Jake the Snake Roberts pops up, right? And Ann is sitting there, wow, that guy really looks like Jake the Snake Roberts. I'm like, that is Jake the Snake Roberts. He made this before he died? Jake the Snake Roberts hasn't died. It just kept going from one thing to the next. It's like, wow, that looks like Jake Roberts. It is Jake Roberts. Oh, he made it before he died.
No, he's still alive.
And then he was just on AEW. Like, if you remember, like a few weeks ago, he popped up on AEW.
Well, and now he's sending in the super chat.
So now
Jake the Snake Roberts, 2019 was one of the biggest in terms of box office. Do you think 2020 will be the lowest? Unless
they really do cram a lot of these movies into the end of 2020, but like we've already seen a few of them have been bumped into 2021. Yeah, but of course, as we look back, in terms of history, as we look back at 2020 in the box office and we see that really low number, there's going to have to be a very big red juicy asterisk beside it, because obviously this was not a normal year. This would not have been the lowest year in box office history had it gone on air. It wouldn't have been as big as 2019, of course not, but it was going to be a big year. And now it's going to be one of the lowest years ever. But again, when we see that in history, we got to slap a big juicy asterisk on, because obviously there were a lot of extenuating circumstances. The question is going to be, how big is 2021 going to be? Now that we've gotten a number of these big films moving into 2021, that's going to be an interesting thing to see. All right, what is next?
Michael Preston, TV show recommended The Shield, one of the best cop shows.
Shield was great. Michael Chiklis was fabulous, and it made him a household name. The Wire to me was still the better, probably is the best cop show of all time to me, but The Shield is a definite awesome show. And you know what? Ended at just the right time. They went as far as they could, and they didn't go one season too long. You know what I mean? They ended it right, but they didn't cut it off short either. It was perfect. It's a really, really good show. All right, what's next?
Jake Burgess. Number 1, 2001, A Space Odyssey, 1968. Number 2, Eternal Sunshine, 2004. Number 3, The Shining, 1980. Number 4, Pulp Fiction, 1994. Number 5, Fight Club, 1994. Number 6, The Empire Strikes Back, 1980. Number 7, Under the Skin, 2013. Number 8, Scream, 1996.
Ooh, Scream on a top 10
Number
list.
9, Memento, 2000. Number 10, A Clockwork Orange, 1971.
And you know what? That is one of Robert's favorite movies. Clockwork Orange is one of his favorite movies. I have never seen anybody put Scream. I don't think, as long as people have been sending in their all-time top 10 lists, and we get a lot of them come in, and I love reading them, I don't know that Scream has ever been on one of those. So that's interesting to see that one listed up that high. Really nice mix of movies you got in there too. First of all, and I know Robert would love the fact that you've got Space Odyssey. at your number one spot. That's awesome. Of course, we just watched Jim Carrey, of course, in Sonic, but Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, to a lot of people, that's his best movie. I don't think it's his best movie, but it's definitely one of his greats. So nice list, Jake. I appreciate that. Thanks for sending that in. All right, what is next?
Well, I'm trying to figure out where Big is on his list. How come that's not? Maybe it's before number one. It's number 0.
Maybe it's 0. Of course, Anne's all-time favorite movie is Big. How many times a year do you think it plays at least for a bit on on our TV?
Maybe like at least once a quarter.
Yeah, but 4 or 5 times a year.
Yeah.
4 or 5 times a year. And then, like, Anne will say, John, and then say like an inside joke that's a reference to Big. I'm like, what? It's from Big. It's like, like I didn't know that it was from Big.
Can you imagine now, Big, like in this time, now that Tom Hanks has survived coronavirus? An updated version of it.
An updated version of Big. What's the character's name again? Josh?
Josh Baskins.
Josh Baskins. Coronavirus survivor. All right. What's next?
Mahir Haque. Kill Bill was Tarantino's magnum opus, in my opinion.
I listen, I like Kill Bill very much. I did not like Kill Bill 2 as much as Kill Bill 1. I know they were originally supposed to be just one big movie, and then the Weinsteins made him cut it in half. I like the first one a lot, but it's not even in my top 3 Tarantino films. Like for me, it's Inglourious Bastards and Django Unchained as 1 and 1A. And it depends on which day you ask me. Some days I have Django Unchained on top, some days Inglourious Bastards. Then you got Reservoir Dogs, and then he's got a lot of other ones too. Kill Bill is yet another great Quentin Tarantino movie. But I don't know if I call it his magnum opus, but hey man, listen, a lot of people love it. And they keep saying they're going to put out like the one big final one, so which would be kind of interesting to see. All right, what's next?
Lewis Allen. I know there are bigger things to worry about, but it's crazy to think if Corona had happened last year, Avengers Endgame would have been delayed.
Listen, we were just talking about how 2019, biggest box office year in history. Disney had like 6 or 7 billion-dollar films all on their own. Can you imagine what that would have been like? And yes, of course, a lot of other much more worse things going on. But on this show, we talk about our little box of the movie world. And so we talk about how things affect things in that little box. So we understand, though, that there are much more important things outside of that. But we are here to talk about our little box. It's unimaginable. It's unimaginable what would have happened. And how that year would have been like the most box office and success-wise, like the most incredible year in cinematic history that happened. The only thing that I can think of might have been good that come out of that, if it came out then, is that maybe if it delayed Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, it would have made them rethink the whole thing and just maybe done it all differently. I'm not really sure, but you are absolutely right, Lewis. I mean, it's crazy to think about it, but we could have still been sitting around. They might have pushed it a year and a half. They might have pushed Endgame a year and a half, and we may be sitting here today still having not seen it. Think about that. How wild is that? It's been forever since we watched it, but there is a possibility we may not have still even seen it, depending on how far they would have pushed it at the time. It's crazy to think about. All right, what's next?
Anthony Lucolano just finished watching Revenger.
And that was fast.
I know. I like that he's gone through that movie in this. Just finished watching Revenger, and it's definitely not as good as the other South Korean films I've watched. He adds, it's very much a B movie with a thin plot and poor acting, but the action made it worth watching for me.
Oh, that's good to know. Well, hey, listen, not every single one you can watch can knock it out of the park, but thank you for giving us the update. Now we know we can avoid that one, Anthony, so thanks for sending that in. All right, and I think this is the final one, is it not?
Yes.
All right, what's this last one?
Kenneth Dowling. Hi, John. Have you had a chance to watch Ozark Season 3? With this recent season, in my opinion, it has surpassed Breaking Bad as a crime drama.
Here's the thing. This is becoming a running joke. I literally get asked every day now about Ozark. And every day I have to say the same thing. Ann and I, who are both big Jason Bateman fans, we decided when Ozark Season 1 came out, we were going to sit down and check it out. And we gutted out about 4 or 5 episodes. And after about 4 or 5 episodes, we just both kind of looked at each other and said, meh. We're done. And
it was okay.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. We didn't hate it.
Maybe we should have watched more. I don't know.
Yeah, we didn't hate it or anything like that. We just thought, okay, this isn't working for us, and that's fine. There are lots of great TV shows that a lot of people love that you didn't like. There's some great TV shows that everybody loves that we don't like, and that's fine. So we just kind of tapped out on it, didn't watch it again. So I have not seen the last part of Ozark Season 1. I have not seen Ozark Season 2, and I have certainly not seen Ozark Season 3. But I've been having so many people writing in, hun, that I even remember I came down and I said to you, I said, do we need to revisit Ozark?
I feel like there's enough people saying that it's a pretty good show.
I have so many people writing in every day telling me that. And so I went down and I said, I think, do we have to go back and recheck it out? Like maybe? I don't know. Maybe we'll have to reconsider that. Anyway, guys, that gets us all caught up, and we've gotten through all the questions we had left over. But don't worry, we're going to have a lot more questions for the John Campea Show tomorrow. You guys have already been sending them in, so we will get to those as well. Thank you, everybody, for sending in the questions for 2 reasons. Number 1, you gave us great fun things to talk about. And number 2, you supported this channel while you were doing it. And all of us here associated with the John Campea Show, thank you very much for that. And I, of course, want to remind her, my wife, Ann Campea, for being here today and helping me out with these questions. You know what? This makes it a lot more fun for me to do it. I actually get through it faster, I think, with having you here. Anyway, hon, in the meantime, where can people follow you if they want to follow you online?
You can follow me at Ann Campea. I also have a cosplay Instagram, Ann Cosplays.
Is that what it is? So it's Instagram.com/Ann Cosplays.
Yes.
Is that what it is? All right. And you can go and find her there. And of course, guys, you can follow me on all the different social medias, particularly on Twitter and Facebook, Instagram, simply at John Campea. That will do it for me for now, guys. Thanks so much for being here. Don't forget to come back for the John Campea Show tomorrow. That'll do it for now. My name's John Campea, and until next time, bye-bye.